Welcome to this video. Today we're going to be doing a stock analysis on Ehang Holdings Limited. Now, Ehang Holdings Limited is a flying drone company that makes flying drones for people to sit in, which might sound like flying cars. Now, they make something that looks like this. Now, it can fit two people and two bags, and it is actually performing quite well this year. That is the reason why I picked up on it. Just look at this the last year. The year started up at $15 roughly, and now it is trading at 21. So let's show a graph of this year alone, as you can see here. 25. Let me just make this a bit smaller. This year alone has been crazy, up 36.31%. Now, if we look at it overall, it does trade a bit up and down. It's quite volatile, as you can see. Just look at the RSI down here. It is up and down all the time, as well as down here in the graph. It is just up and down, quite many crosses. But something that I find interesting is look at these E's. Look at their earnings. They are beating earnings quite a lot, and often with surprising amounts of, which is quite interesting when they don't really have a product yet. Now, the reason I think this company is going to be crazy within, let's say, the next 10 years, because it's flying cars, and I really don't know what kind of branch of niche people are going to buy this and how much they're going to cost. We don't really have any of that information yet. Now, but I do think it's called low altitude flying, and as you know, some Chinese cities, they might be able to use it because, I mean, there lives over 1 billion people in China. Also, USA, I know there are some places where they are already testing them, as well as in Dubai. Now, as you can see here, we have the next earnings in 2 days, which is a reason I'm going to highlight this. Now, of course, that is the 12th of March, so in 2 days from now. Recently, look at this spike we had up here in the RSI. It is trading very high, almost up at 92 in RSI. Now, if you don't know what RSI is, it is the relative strength index, and the higher up it trades, the more upwards momentum there is at any given moment. Now, it did, of course, fall a bit back down, as you can see here, trading a bit below and then stabilizing a bit. Now, I don't really like the technicals on this stock quite a lot because we do have quite a lot of small gaps all over, which is quite difficult to make a decent reading of this. Now, earnings, as I told you earlier, look at that. It is quite crazy how much they beat them every time. Last time was 58.9%. But then there is the interesting thing. Look at the stock. It beat it here by 59% almost. It barely did anything. It actually fell down quite a bit after. So, of course, there is quite a lot of speculation within the stock like this. Now, if we look at their financials, as you can see here annually, they don't make any money at all. They burn a lot of cash. But, of course, with an experimental product like theirs, it is only to be expected. Now, their margins is getting better, so they burn less and less cash for every dollar they have on their books. Now, if we look at as far back as we can, just look at this. It is crazy. Look in 2021, it was up 484% in March. No, that was February. So it's quite crazy. It more often than not, recently, it has ended in the full year in minus 46% in 22, and so yeah, 23 was quite nice as well as 2020, and so far in 2025, as you can see here, it is performing quite nicely. Now, of course, the technical analysis of this is quite interesting. For the month, we do have a strong buy on the moving averages and a buy on the summary. Oscillators quite neutral, as you can see. Very interesting at the moment. The week is also a buy, and the day is a sell, actually. Now, as you can see, recently we had the peak up here at about 87, no, 27, of course, and it has fallen a bit. Now, there is a golden cross here, but I would be very wary. As you can see, the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average is getting very close down here, which could be a potential sign of lower momentum. If this red line crosses this yellow line downwards, it's going to be a show of recently that there's been a lost momentum and more sellers and more shorters in the market, so it might be a bit risky to go into the stock now. Now, the analysis on this is actually quite positive. As you can see, we have 12 strong buy and 1 hold, which I personally find quite insane. We don't have any sell or strong sells in a company which has made a product we don't even know if it's worth anything yet. We don't even know if there will even be a niche that will buy this. Of course, people might say, oh, well, of course I want a car, but in a city, we don't know if it's going to be too noisy, like a helicopter, so it won't be allowed to fly, or whatever regulations there might be put on it. So a bit worried about that. But very interesting stock. I do like to keep an eye on it, but I wouldn't buy into this before we see some proper data. Now, if you did like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.